Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Model and a Movie. We're going back in time, episode 15.
Why not?
Because we skipped it, episode
Yeah.
15.
Well, we didn't skip 15.
I
You just
skipped it.
don't know your
Yeah,
numbers.
I screwed up the numbers. That's what it is. As always, Brian Clark, my co-host for these wonderful movie viewing review extravaganzas. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, man. I'm doing well.
Good.
You know,
School year
we're
treating you
what? We're
well?
in April? Yeah. We just finished up our wonderful eclipse.
Oh, that's right.
You
It
know,
went by you. How was it? How was
it
it?
was honestly, it was really freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like, but once it happened, like once you get to the full eclipse totality,
Yeah.
you, you have to take the glasses off, and because you can't wear them because you can't see anything at all, and it is freaking weird and creepy, and everything gets quiet, and it's hard to you can't describe it. You really can't. You
Okay.
have to um and like from where we were in Ohio in Lorraine, there was a red dot on the bottom, and my buddy's a real photographer, not like all of us with our iPhones. Um, and he took it, and you could see that what it was a like a sunspot or whatever, and I guess they said that it was 100,000 miles long, but it looks like it's that big. It's crazy. I'll have to send you the picture so you can put
That's
it in
cool.
here because
Yeah,
it really is.
my parents went to Indianapolis with my brother, and they hung out at the Indy 500 stadium,
Okay.
and they were there watching it. And I was at school. I was at work with a bunch of kids in glasses, and it wasn't totality where we were, so it only got to like 90%. So it was still pretty cool.
Yeah,
You know?
I'll tell you what though, the totality makes a difference. It really
Yeah,
does. I've been impartial
yeah,
before, but this was like,
it looked awesome.
yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, and my buddy's name is Mark Kempton. I'll send you the picture, and
Cool,
it's got his name on it. So
awesome.
you know,
How's everything else?
all right, getting ready for basketball to start again.
Oh no.
I'm sure it's what the head coach hasn't said when, but we're getting there because the after the season ends, there's a 30-day where we can't do anything, and that 30 days ended over our spring break, which was a week ago. So I'm sure we'll be getting the coaches meeting, and then we'll get the open gyms going and see what happens. So
Oh wow, that was a
yeah,
short break.
it goes. Yeah,
Yeah, everything's
yeah,
going a lot faster these days.
yep,
Our movie this episode is Spaceman
yeah.
on Netflix. So if you have not watched that movie yet and you don't want to be spoiled, turn this off. Go watch it. Come back, watch it another time because there's spoilers and we don't want to ruin it for
Spoiled.
you.
So before that, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
My butt's been kicked. I think I have two student art shows coming up, so trying to wrangle kids, get things done for that end of the year craziness as always, and it's just been a lot, and yeah, that's where we are. And a
Printing
lot of
stuff.
just drama behind the scenes with friends and family stuff. So
Yeah,
it's been a crazy couple weeks around here, but
I get it.
that's life. It's life, which leads me to not getting anything painted again. But I just found out, like, I was getting things ready, Adepticon is moving to Milwaukee.
Oh,
And that's now it could be worse. I'm not complaining. It needed to move because it was kind of outgrown their space. So, and that convention is giant. And it's great to have them in a bigger place, but it adds another hour of time to get there. And it kind of screws me because it always happens, and you'll know how this is, spring break weekend. And I'm not allowed to take off like that Friday. So it was easy, like if I could just drive there and go for the weekend and stuff. But now I kind of have to, I don't know. And
Kinda
when you
do like
enter models for the contest, you have to do it like if you're doing Golden Demon, I think you can still enter on Saturday, but it's tough. But I think most people enter like Thursday. So they go up, and so
right.
it's just some logistic stuff I'm gonna have to work out for going.
So how
forward.
far are you from there?
It's about 2 hours from where I'm at. So it's an
Not bad.
hour. It's not bad at all, but it's just because of spring break. That's the problem I'm
Yeah.
having.
Well, just call Bill Wilson and you can hang out with Bill and
Oh
he can
crap! I
drive you
shouldn't have
back
said
and
it to
forth.
Milwaukee.
He can drive you back and forth on the back of his semi. And,
Oh man. But it's like Wonderfest almost always lines up with like the last or the weekend before or the weekend after, like the end of the school year too. So it's
Yeah.
hard taking off that day. So it's just that's what sucks about being a teacher. People don't know. And most teachers who are just call off because they're horrible people. And I'm one of those people that goes to work, you know.
I do too.
So I feel guilty. But we're not allowed. Our vacation is summer, and that's it. We get our Christmas winter break, but we can't just call off a week and go on vacation like everyone else and say, this is when I'm using my vacation time. So we're locked into those times. And for people that think we're on vacation over the summer, that's not true. We are technically unemployed over the summer and don't get paid unless you spread out your normal pay throughout the whole year. So it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Oh, if I didn't do that, I'd be so screwed.
Well, yeah, I know all of us would.
All right, I just cut out a whole bunch of work talk that no one else is going to care about. So I just cut it out. Good for you. Speaking of work, I saw Scott comment on Facebook. Scott, and he wanted to come on the show and surprise us, and I said no. So we're going to talk about him anyway.
Okay.
He commented he didn't know what a muckraker was.
Yeah, I saw that.
As a high school English teacher, literature, like who, what? How
an individual who causes problems. You would think that he would have it on the back of his jersey.
I know. But it comes to Upton Sinclair, the author who wrote The Jungle. And it's a Chicago-based book, too. It's not like, it's about the meatpacking industry. And he was like, they were called the muckrakers because they went and like exposed all of this horrible stuff going on and why you were getting fingers in your hot dogs. And he didn't, I'm like, how do you not know what a muckraker is, man? Anyway.
Well, because his books that book doesn't have pictures.
That's true. That is true.
And they did it wrong. I will not eat green eggs and ham.
If it weren't for the muckrakers, you would be eating green ham at this point, probably because of.
We probably are anyhow.
Yeah,
who cares?
probably are. All right. We have a surprise for everyone. Yeah. We are adding. Well, it's not a surprise if you read the title. Wrestlemania happened, and we're going to talk about Wrestlemania a little bit because we don't care because we like it. So
we do.
Let's just go over Wrestlemania a little bit. When was the last Wrestlemania you actually watched?
Before this one, Undertaker retired. So what was that? 36, 37, something like that.
Okay. I pretty much watch them all. So I usually watch that and Royal Rumble. I like Royal Rumble. But
hey, SummerSlam's in Cleveland this year. Come on.
Is it? Oh. Yeah. Oh. Well, we'll get to. Go ahead.
I know.
All right.
So you want to?
Yeah, run down the matches. I mean, why don't you just pick out some of the highlights of the matches, like some of your favorites we could talk about?
Well, all right. Let me just do this. There were 7 matches on day one.
I missed one match. The only match I really wanted to see is the one match I missed.
All right.
And that's the Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley match. So how did that go?
You didn't miss much. I was bored.
Really?
Yeah, I was bored. And here's the thing, though. I'm kind of removed from wrestling for a while. I went to AEW, and now with Triple H running, I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to get a little bit of the edge back. And
that's what I want to talk about a little bit because I noticed that already.
Yeah. So, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch.
I love both of them. So I think I'm just going to watch it alone.
Yeah.
I love them.
In the dark.
Yes. I love them both. And it's very hard.
Becky Lynch's accent, dude. Oh,
her nose. I love her nose. It's just, and Rhea, I just want her to beat me up. Like, it's okay.
I know you do. Yeah, we've talked about it. I know. You're.
Oh my God. I love it.
All right. Gunther and Sami Zayn.
I watched it. What'd you think?
I thought it was a Kofi Kingston moment type of thing where they made him the world champion, whatever. But this was Intercontinental. I don't know who Gunther is because he's kind of come in since I stopped. but the fact that they were building him up as this big machine powerhouse thing, and then out walks a guy who looks like me with my shirt off. Uh, yeah, I didn't.
So
I don't know.
I think that's a match that suffers from you not having watched for a while,
Okay.
because he basically Gunther has the title like
Like a year.
yeah, he
Like
broke the record I think
yeah,
for that title for
yeah.
Intercontinental. And he used to be huge, like your size,
Oh, really?
like big, like, and he's like, and he looks amazing now. And they basically, you know, I thought it was a decent match for what it was. And I
Yeah,
kind of figured he had to lose it now.
yeah, yeah.
So, and Sami Zayn, I'm not a big Sami Zayn guy either. So it's just like,
I liked Sami Zayn when he was doing the "I've got kids" stick. That was great. That was fantastic. I loved it. I said stick. I meant shtick.
oh no, that
But
was a different dude.
no, it wasn't.
Wasn't that the
I've
guy
got
that
kids.
was
Mm-mm. That's
that
Sami
other
Zayn.
redhead dude?
That was Sami Zayn. I know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyhow, the next one is the tag team championship with 85 different wrestlers, and the only ones I knew were the Judgment Day and Awesome Truth. Everybody else, I don't know.
Yeah, it was,
Or not. Yeah, New Day. I'm sorry, New Day. Also, that's
I,
too many people.
yeah, yep.
Just, but anyhow, I mean, I do like I like our Truth though. He's been
I do
around
like
for.
R-Truth. He's very refreshing.
He's
And
entertaining. He's always funny. He plays up the whole confused thing perfectly.
yep,
So nothing there. Jay versus Jimmy Uso, didn't care.
didn't care
Uh,
either. And I think I watched it with some people that really care, and they really cared about that. And I was just like,
yeah, I
nothing.
mean,
Did nothing for me.
no, me either. I mean, and honestly, I couldn't tell which one was which. I didn't know who was winning. The twins, for God's sakes. There was no. If you hadn't followed it for a while, I don't even really know which one won. Jimmy won, right? Jay won. Which one won?
I was right. Not to put you in your place.
Okay, who?
The I Got Kids was another redhead.
Who?
Heath Slater.
Ah, shit. I mean, oh yeah, you're right. Right, you're right. You're right.
I knew it wasn't him. No, he used to do the ska shtick.
Yes,
He
you're
would
right.
come out with he was that thing.
Yeah, you're right. Okay,
So, all right.
I did like that other guy better than Sami Zayn. All right,
Heath Slater was
Bianca.
funny. He was really funny for a while.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, the I got kids thing was good. But redheads, they all look alike. All right. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi versus Asuka, Kiara Sane, and Dakota Kai. Uh, eh. Jade Cargill was in AEW when I was watching it.
And
She was
once
in it.
again, I love the
didn't
Jade Cargill. Like,
see
I just wanted to throw me around again.
I don't know what's going on with Ahsoka.
Asuka.
Asuka, thank you. Ahsoka, that's a Star Wars. Uh, she was really good, and it seems like they're not using her very well. She's a
I agree.
great.
She's kind of fell into that. I think the whole women's division has kind of gone that way. I feel like they went a couple steps backward in terms of like wrestling,
Okay.
like doing actual, and got more back to the gimmicky kind of stuff. Like they were for a while. The women's division was really cool to watch, and now I feel like they're not using people properly, and
But
with some of the
like
changes coming, that's we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah. Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio.
That's okay. It was just okay. Like it was a lot of okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now, end of the first night, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth. I thought was good. That was by far the highlight, and it should have been the highlight. They said it was the second longest match ever in the history of WrestleMania. I believe.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long one. It was good, man. I liked it,
and it was predictable. I knew that's like
it was.
Like I knew that was how it was going to go, but it was okay. Like,
and we were texting back and forth, and
it was
whatever.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, and of course, it's set up night two. It had to go that way in order for night two to go the way.
Right.
Let's see. We got the very first match on day 2 is Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I thought that was an okay match. It was a good.
I thought the match was okay, and I'm glad that he lost, and I'm glad that McIntyre lost. immediately after by Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank. Like,
Money in the yep.
it was great to see. It's been a while since you've had some like that,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I liked the ending of that match.
And they're just setting up Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously where they're headed at. Io Sky versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship.
It was just an okay. Like, Bayley deserves it. She deserves a championship at some point, and she got it. I am not a big Bayley fan. Like, she does nothing for me in terms of anything. So when it comes to wrestling, like, I just
yeah. I agree. But again, they were setting up. It was your typical grudge match.
Yeah.
In wrestling. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Could not care less.
I really liked AJ Styles for a while, and I don't even know who LA Knight is.
You haven't been around. He's like one of the hottest things in WWE right now, and I have no idea why. And if someone could please tell me in the comments why they like LA Knight, he does nothing for me. Like, nothing. I don't like the moveset. I don't like the character. I don't like.
He gave away a car though.
Yeah,
no, that was Logan Paul. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus Final Testament. Don't care.
And this is, I think once we get to the end of this, don't care.
Yeah. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
Should not have been a 3-way anything. Don't care. I'd love to see two of those people fight each other, but
which two?
Not Logan Paul. Although he's like, you know what? I'll be honest. I don't think I've watched enough of what he does to form a really good opinion on him. He could be amazing. I just don't think it's. I'll stop there because it'll go into my bigger criticism.
Gotcha.
Of the whole thing.
Well, let me tell you, he's from my area.
Oh yeah.
He's about 20. Him and his brother grew up about 20 minutes away from me. And I knew about him and his brother when they were in high school. That should give you an idea. Not when they were in high school. Because they were doing all the dancing videos and everything got big. And this D-bag was the one who went to the haunted forest in Japan and mocked the bodies.
Oh, good.
You remember that? Do you remember that at all? Yeah, that's who this guy is. And so I have no love for this guy. I could care less. At Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, I'd watch that 3 times a week. But not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Finally. Oh, and by the way, I hope Mike Tyson knocks his brother out. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the final bloodline story. And again, not a bad match.
I really liked it. I really liked that headlining match. I thought it was everything it needed to be. And it signaled a change in the company. And they brought back some of those people to be like, it felt like a family reunion the way it played out, with people running in, old timers running in, everyone else kind of getting their spot. I was all in for a Shield reunion. I thought for sure Seth was going to lose. He was going to side up with Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose was going to come out of the crowd. That's what I was thinking. So when the Shield music hit, I was like, oh, I was right. Here it comes. But then it was just Seth Rollins as the Shield, which was a great, I think what they were doing, and I might be wrong. I didn't get to watch this week. Oh no, last week. I don't think they're going to bring the Shield back, but it would be cool.
No, they're not.
If he started his own like new Shield with like 2 brand new people he didn't know, like upcoming. But all that aside, I thought it was handled very well, and I think the big main idea of the whole WrestleMania was Triple H is in charge now.
Yeah,
and it was a changing of the guard, and you could tell because there was swearing, and there was some other just like there's stuff happening that should have been happening for a long time. And the biggest thing that, and if you're not a wrestling fan and you watch this, you would never know this was a big deal. They said professional wrestling twice on the way out,
Not sports
and
entertainment.
not
Yeah.
sports entertainment. And to
Yeah.
know that is allowed to be said now
Yeah.
is a huge deal. And I think that's my biggest takeaway from WrestleMania was that they said wrestling. They said professional wrestling instead of sports entertainment. And I hope it gets better, because it has been abysmal for the last few years. I was an every week Raw person forever. And in the last 5 years, I have really stopped watching, and I'll watch like the main events, but man, I hope this is a change. It's time. It's time for
Well,
something good.
I will say that your prediction though of what was supposed to happen on night two, after I watched it, I went to see, was right. And it was supposed to be Stone Cold. He was supposed to make an appearance.
Really?
They couldn't come to terms on money, and where the Undertaker came in, that's where Stone Cold was supposed to be. So Taker, because he still works for him, he just jumped in the spot.
Oh
So
man.
it would have been, the place would have caught on fire if that would
Oh
have
yeah.
happened. Yeah, that
Oh
would have
yeah.
been,
If that was Stone Cold that stood the Rock, it would have been.
that'd have been fantastic. But
Oh.
I enjoyed it enough. I don't think I enjoyed it enough for what I paid for it, but I enjoyed it enough. And
So I
there's
get it
just
with my cable
things to go away.
subscription. If I had to pay for it, I would have been upset. I think I would not have been. I don't think it would have been worth what I. What did it cost you? Like seriously, what does it cost? Like what is a WrestleMania?
$35 for each night.
Ugh.
But back when it was just a one night thing, it was $70. So
And that's my criticism. It does not need to be 2 nights.
right.
Like that's because you put all these filler matches in there that just don't matter. Like I don't care. Like just have every title up for grabs that night. That's your WrestleMania. Like every title. No other match. You have, because there's 2 championship belts. I think there's 2 tag team titles. There's 2 women titles, or a women's tag team, a women's champion. No, there's 2 women's champions because there's Bailey and there's Rhea. So you have 2 champions there. There's and you have Intercontinental, and you like there's enough. You just fill it with the champions on one night. Like I don't.
Well,
And maybe
AEW
one storyline match, but man, just do your titles.
AEW does do that. They have a night. It's called a Night of Champions, where all the belts are up.
Yeah,
And so,
that's what it should be. That's what WrestleMania should be. It just,
I agree.
the stakes feel better when it's doing something like that. And I like Cody Rhodes. I don't think he should be the heavyweight champion of the world. Kind of like the face of the company. Like I get it, but he's earned it. He's totally earned it.
And I was kind of, you and I were talking, they're texting that night. I was like, man, because it was basically set up as family versus and they should have found a way to get Goldust to show up. Man, that would have put it over the top, and
yep,
I would have.
I would have loved if Goldust showed up and stunned The Rock. I would have liked that better than or not. Sorry, put his move. Oh no, do the Shattered Dreams on him. The nut kick, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I think you and I should call WWE.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So
I'm sure they're looking for 2 old middle-aged white guys who teach to take over their writing skills for a situation.
All right. So now we lost most of the people that were watching the show. All right, what are you working on model wise? What do you got going on?
Well, let's do this one first. I've got the Superman after a nuclear explosion. It's from The Dark Knight Returns. They did it in Batman v Superman, I believe, the scene where he goes off into the sky and he kind of shrivels and
I always
all
liked that piece.
Yeah. So the eyes I thought kind of had to be big because of the explosion. So
yeah.
I want that, and then the cape is done. I got to finish his hair, and I think I'm gonna call it quits there. So.
When did you get that piece? Because it's been floating around for a while, and I just never picked it up.
I believe it's Needful Things, right? I think I got it 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
best. And then it's got this base with the nuclear explosion on it. And just kind of
Yeah. Superman.
so. Which is weird that nuclear weapon. Whatever. I am. This is a little. My wife loves Sean Connery, so all I got to do is put the head on here, and
Oh wow.
he'll, he'll be done there. This was from NY3D.
Okay.
Good likeness.
Kutan sculpt printed by NY3D. Cool.
So I just got to put the head on. She doesn't know it's coming.
I like that suit. I like the colors on that.
That's coal black from Proactive.
Okay.
That's their another NY3D. I am doing Daredevil,
Oh, nice.
and I liked I there was it's all supposed to be one color, and I was like,
Yeah, it gets that's tough.
so I decided what I'm gonna do is I there's like these scene type things, and I'm almost done with all of them. And
I think
paint
that
those.
works. I think that really works.
Yeah, I think it looks good. But the problem is, like anything, you got. I started hitting spots because I got a little bit on my hand, so I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
back and touch it. But again, Aqua burnt red, and their colors when you touch it up and then you seal it disappears.
I
So
like that red and black. That looks cool.
there's the base. I put got a little dirty
Cool.
down on there, a little
Dirty
rust, and
Down. Oh, yeah. MCTV, if you need some Dirty Down paint, use our promo code MCTV, link down below. Anytime we mention Dirty Down. For your rust effects, your gore effects, their new one coming out. Patinas. That's
yep,
what I think.
yep. Verdigris.
Yes.
And with the head, I sent you the picture. I did so in the comics, Daredevil's eyes are not seen, but on this kit, they are. It's almost like a Batman type cowl they did. And Mike had sent me some resin, and I was like, you know what? Let me just see what happens. So I put it in, and I got out my little magic UV light that I bought for $6, and just kind of sat there and held it, and it came out like really cool. I thought it was really cool, and I sent you the picture, and Jamie thought it looked cool too. Um,
Yeah.
so here we go. It almost looks like glass. Um, but I'm gonna paint it. But I thought that just for the show, like if you get some UV resin and you're trying to create a glass type effect, it really, really worked well. It
Yeah, it
came
makes it
out,
look like it's an actual lens instead of his
yeah,
eyes in a way. And it adds some depth. So
yeah.
it's cool. And 'cause I have something that has a bunch of eyeballs and the pupils are poked out. And I was thinking I'm gonna probably end up painting the eyeballs and putting a drop of that clear UV and hitting it
Hmm.
to make it look like it's not like a giant hole in there anymore.
And dude, basketball's over. The paint comes out. You know, been killing it on Tusk.
Nice.
Now the Tusk in the from the movie is more of all like a real light pale. I have so many different skin tones. I was like, why would he only kill the same colored person? That doesn't make any sense. So I was like, screw this, and I just started going crazy. Um, I have to do all the stitches now. I've gotten the hands done and the back here, and a little bit on the tail. But
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
I thought it came out really cool. It looks good.
Yeah.
The stitches are a nightmare.
Oh yeah, it's
So
gonna take a while.
between this
Hunker
and
down.
the lines on the Daredevil,
Mm-hmm. Oh
let's
man.
see. Finished my little Predator. Came out nice.
Yeah.
I did it in different colors. I wanted it to be a little different. Like again, I'm doing those cartoony, so yeah, a little copper and some flesh
Yeah.
tones,
I
and
like the copper armor.
yeah, I thought it was fun.
It's
Uh,
more Dark Horse looking from the comics. I like that.
this that I broke the piece off of right before I was showing you. I got the that just fell off, but this is the one that
I
my
love
buddy
it.
bought.
That's such
I'm
a
gonna
good kit.
I'm gonna give that to him. He bought it for me. he doesn't know that he's getting it back, but he is. So
Hey, what'd you think about the new Superman logo? I saw you post that.
it's good.
You like
It's
it?
not. I don't know. I mean, people are like, oh, it's not, you don't mess with the Superman. They've been messing with the Superman logo since
Forever.
1938. I mean, it's there's like I have a poster somewhere that's like all the logos for the different eras and everything, and there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so that's a bad argument, but I kind of wish they would have just gone straight with the Alex Ross look more than kind of tinkering with it.
Mm-hmm.
Tinkered a little bit, but yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
all good.
interested to see what they do with that.
And then my final kit that I finished was these losers.
Oh, I love the red and black. My purple hat. I look like a pimp.
Yeah, that's
From
what I
right
thought
here.
too. I really did. I thought that too.
With my pimp cup, I totally look like a pimp.
Hey, and the beard, I thought, man, I thought that beard came out cool.
Yeah, it did. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Then I didn't glue the hats on. I left them, but they're just,
Scott looks
you know.
pretty good too. That's awesome. I love your flesh on him. That looks
Well,
great.
he is a little. I told you because I showed you. I was
You
just
got the
like,
colors on him. That shirt is like exactly the color he always wears. Yeah, that's really good.
you know what the problem with the shirt is? It's not stretched out around the neck enough. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I got three kits, and that's it.
All right. What'd you
And then
get?
I'm done. From one Mr. Paul Gill, I believe the Alex Ross Superman with that symbol
Ooh.
from Kingdom Come.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, it's nice. And the base is just a big block of.
Nice.
He textures it somehow, like I don't know.
Like
He puts some
concrete or
texture.
something? That's cool.
I don't know because that's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is heavy, dude. This is a chunk. So
That's
um,
nice.
yeah, I think Alex Ross's artwork might be, and I'm going out on a limb here, some of the best artwork in comics.
Yeah, he's always done amazing jobs.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do? And then I got a couple Gundam kits, some
Really?
Maycross or Robotech.
Why'd you do that?
Um, it's the kit. I like the show Robotech. I watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge follower, but I just there's something about this one ship that
Wait, is
always
it Gundam or Robotech? What did you get?
Macross. I don't know. It's all the same, isn't
Macross.
it?
No, it's not.
Mac-
Way different.
is it? What's the difference?
Macross and Gundam are two separate universes.
Yeah, but it's the
Macross
same.
and Robotech kind of go together.
Okay.
And then BattleTech was an offshoot of Robotech that they got it's licensing hell. Is what it is. But Gundam is completely separate.
But it's kind of the same thing. It's
They're giant robots, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the one that I always liked as a kid.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. So yes, that's like the Macross
Yeah.
ships that turn it. Yes, cool.
Then
Have you built one of those? I've never built one of those.
No, I have not.
But the band, if is it Bandai or who makes it?
Asagawa.
Hasegawa. Ooh, okay.
And then
Those
got
good.
the plain version of it too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Got both. And I picked these up at Comic-Con yesterday in Cleveland at the Comic-Con. So
oh, how was that?
it was cool. It was cool. My wife met Sean Austin and she offered to leave me for him and he said no. So
Did she cry?
no, she didn't, but she was super excited. And then she goes, he felt because she got a picture with him and everything. She put her arms around. She goes, he felt exactly like I thought he would. He's squishy, just like you. I was like, you know what?
He is squishy. He's a lot bigger than he was.
He's bigger than me, but I tell you what, his paycheck's bigger too. So whatever.
Yeah.
I told her, hey, if on the way there, I was like, look, if he wants, we could do an indecent proposal type thing. Said we could go 2 mil. With 2 mil, that's double what I'm going to make in the last 11 years of retirement. We're good. Go for it. But she said he's happily married. He does.
Yeah. Oh, but that's great. You got to meet. Was it crowded? Was it?
We go on Sunday,
Okay.
So it's not as bad. and that's where I met the Clerks guys a couple years ago too.
Okay,
So yeah, Sundays are the day to go, man.
awesome.
So
I have no new models. I talked about the last one that I just got, which was the Shock Monster Halloween Nightmare. I think that was the last thing I got. I did get some miniatures, but I won't even bother talking about those. Paint wise, though, I did pick up at Adepticon, and I don't know if I talked about them last time. A bunch of enamel washes to try from AK. So a bunch for weathering, and then some fluorescent ones. So I got fluorescent red, blue, and yellow, and then I got red, blue, and yellow, so I can make my own colors like normal red, blue, and yellow. And then a bunch of like grimy like earth tones and stuff to try and do some weathering with it. Because I want to get more into like the grim dark style painting. If you've ever seen any of those, where it's like when people paint miniatures, they make them look a little like grim and dark. It's what it is.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Instead of your typical like bright, happy Games Workshop style paint jobs and stuff. So I'm gonna give those a try. And I haven't used enamel washes in a very long time, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So, but I got nothing, and it's again, it's bugging me.
Oh,
So
I
I got
did
it.
pick up something paint wise, and you could tell me how to use this because I was going to ask you off camera, but someone else might want to know too. Uh, I was running out of my Citadel Earthshade and Flesh Shades and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you told me about, and they're awesome and all that. But I was there and I saw this. I was like, I'll give it a chance. Technical Strickland Mud,
Okay, so that is
Sturland.
this. It says texture, right?
Technical Sturland Mud. That's all it says.
Okay.
Technical.
So if you open it up, it's basically, does it look just like it's all chunky and sandy? And have you opened it yet?
You can open it now.
It
Here.
should just be it should be basic. It's just like if you need to make instant.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it is sandy inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like it's the same stuff like as you would get from Vallejo, like in the big jars for
Okay.
dioramas for making earth and mud and dirt. And you just take like a little like palette knife or what do I use? Where are they? They're on the other side of the room. Or no, there's one here. You can use like one of these things, like a little just
Yeah.
just and put it on. Like if you need to put mud or something on the ground, that's what it's for. That's it. For
Okay.
making terrain and base.
So there's nothing special you have to do. You just take it
No, it's
out
just like it's just I think it's just gel medium mixed with paint and sand is what is
Okay.
like kind of what it is. So nothing special, just let it dry for like 24 hours and I think you're good. Even with a hit with a hair dryer, it shouldn't take that long. But a plastic, they're on the other side of the room. They make Games Workshop makes plastic like these things that I think work a little better because they bend when you put them on. And these, I like this one too. So it just kind of depends on what you're using them for. But and I talked about these. I got these from Turbo Dork. They're paint stirring sticks, and they're silicone, so you don't
Yeah,
have to worry about messing up your paintbrushes when mixing paint colors.
I just use toothpicks.
Yeah. You ready?
I'm ready, my man. Let's do this.
Let's get into Spaceman. So
Well,
this
let's be careful how you word that.
Spaceman, yeah. So this was my pick. So I'll kind of start off. Spaceman is on Netflix. So if anyone's interested, that's where you can find it right now, a Netflix movie. And it's Adam Sandler. And before we go any further, I think my one main giant criticism of the movie, Adam Sandler plays a Czechoslovakian cosmonaut.
Yeah.
Sounds nowhere near Czechoslovakia. Like there is, and once I got past, like I didn't even realize he was supposed to be Czechoslovakian until like halfway through the movie, and it was
When
like they dropped,
it, yeah.
and they dropped these little nuggets throughout the movie, and I'm like, oh wait, what? He's not American, like, and so that, so take that out. Okay, I'm gonna take that out and just put it over there. Otherwise, it's Adam Sandler as a cosmonaut who they're investigating an anomaly. How do you say that?
Anomaly.
Anomaly
Purple anomaly in the sky.
in the sky. So this anomaly shows up in the sky, and people are like, what the hell? Let's go figure out what that is. So they send, and you don't find this out till later either. And if you're not paying attention, there's a lot of little things that are dropped in that if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss. So it sounds like it was almost like a space race to get to be the first astronaut, cosmonaut to see this thing. Because as the cosmonaut from Czechoslovakia, the South Koreans were right behind him. It's almost like this race to figure out what this is and why they didn't send unmanned things, or maybe they did and they just didn't ever talk about it. Like there's all these little unanswered things to like how we got here, but they're not necessary. In the grand
why would
scheme.
they only send one person? I never understood that. Like they sent one person. They would not do that. But whatever.
You're right. And the more I think about that, because it looked like, skip to the end of the movie, the South Koreans looked like they had two people.
At least
he wasn't alone. Maybe. At least he wasn't alone. Maybe it was to try and in order of speed, like they wanted to be the first in the sky. We're sending one guy, go, and that's what I maybe. And cost, since it's a smaller, like. Here's the other thing: what year does the movie take place?
I don't know.
And that's like there was no, and I think it was to its benefit. There's no context to when the movie was taking place, so like some of the tech in his ship looked really old. The control center, like the NASA style control center of the mission control, looked really old, and he couldn't really place it. So it almost looked like an 80s, 70s Cold War style situation. Right. Is that the case? Don't know, because they didn't tell you. Because I think in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't about that. And I think that's why they left it out. And so he's going on this mission to investigate this anomaly in space. And he's alone. And he's slowly losing his mind. It's what, like, they have these movies, and here's the anomaly. I have a picture of that he's going to investigate. And here's Adam Sandler as the cosmonaut from Czechoslovakia.
That being said, I thought he did a great job as far as his acting was phenomenal. I never was like, what is this guy doing? Why is it? He was top notch, and you felt his desperation. You did.
Absolutely. And so I'm glad you said that, because please don't take me as saying doesn't fit the character he's supposed to be, right, as far as bad acting. It was amazing. Yes. Like I thought it was so heart-wrenching at times watching him, like the desperation of trying to get in. So he's up in space. His wife is pregnant back home, and they're breaking up as he's going, and she's not returning his phone calls. And he's like, all he wants to do is talk to his wife. That's all he wants to do. And she doesn't want to talk to him. She just wants nothing to do with him. And the mission control is like, look, you can't do that to him now. He's in a very delicate situation. If you mess this up for us, it's going to go really bad. So please, we're not even going to tell him you're like, so they kind of are playing this out through the journey. And suddenly there's an alien on board the ship. Now, is it a real alien? Is it in his mind? We're going to talk about that in a minute. So he continues on his journey to this thing. It's 100 and I forget how many days,
6 months.
6 months. Yeah. Towards this anomaly. And he keeps having kinds of conversations with this thing. Totally freaked out as he started going. But let me get there. I think it picks up, it says day 189 at the beginning of the movie. And it is the Chopra event is where he's going, is what they called it. So he's having a talk in between all that. He's having to do like conversation with school kids and answer dumb questions, hang out and talk to other like probably donors for the mission. And you can tell he's just like not having it anymore. And he's just, the loneliness is getting to him. And there's a point where he wakes up from a nightmare and you see spider legs coming out of his mouth as that nightmare. And then the very next day on board is, here's mission control. Here's his wife crying. Here's him on the toilet, which again, space toilets do not look fun whatsoever. And the main mission control guy that he's in charge of talking to all the time is from
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. And he does really good too, I thought. Like,
yes. His name was Paul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And so then he comes across an alien. Now, is the alien an alien? Is it in his mind? Is kind of what you're like, is he going crazy? So he has this thought where he thinks he's going crazy because he literally just comes around the corner and there's this spider looking thing with a human mouth and two tentacles like that hold all this stuff.
Really?
Totally creepy. If you have arachnophobia, this movie is not for you. Like it's not. You're not going to be able to watch it. And I think someone in our comments, and people, they've done this now multiple times. They've kind of spoiled the movie we're going to watch in the comments from the other one. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
We haven't seen them.
We haven't seen it yet. So don't tell me if you liked it yet. Don't tell me if you hated it. Wait till we talk about it and then tell me if you hated it. Because it gave me a preconceived, someone said, oh, if you can get past the spider. And I was like, what?
Well, no, it said if you can get past the fact that it's an alien with him.
Okay. Or something like that. Yes. And so I didn't even know that was in there. I didn't know, I knew nothing about it. And if I had another small criticism, I wish it didn't look like a spider in a weird way, even though it's not really a spider because you're right. Yes. Why? Tell me why.
Well, here's why. Because, all right, number one, we don't know what anything out there looks like, and it's out there. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I like the fact that it wasn't a gray alien. We don't need another.
Right. I didn't want that either. I didn't want. Yes.
There's that. But what it does is it makes us question exactly the question or look at the question exactly that you asked. Is this really happening or is it in his mind? If it was something that was completely alien, it's an alien. But it's something that's just recognizable enough that you could say, okay, is this in his mind or is it real? And I think that was an intentional design, to be honest with you.
Okay, that makes sense. And I agree with you. Because I was going to say, I wish it was more like a blob. Like nothing.
But then
right. Right.
But in this, and honestly, I love the alien. Paul Dano played the alien.
So I was going to say, Paul Dano.
Man, was that good. Hello, skinny human. Every time he talked, I loved it. I honestly, this isn't one of those, it's not a feel-good movie.
No.
And
we'll get to that in a minute.
But at the same time, I caught myself like chuckling a little bit. Like the creature he's funny, he's good, it's just really engaging enough that I would not turn it off if it was on. I would watch. I'd let it play.
So this is gonna say the opposite of what you just. I fell asleep twice watching it, and not because it's boring, because it's so soothing. Like there is like such a Paul Dano's voice as the alien and the way he talks. It's like a and this is what's creepy about the movie. It's almost like and it's intentional, like how a psychiatrist would talk to you with no inflection to their voice to give you a way of how they feel of what you're saying or what you're going through. And it made this it was almost hypnotic at times because you had just the visual of it and how everything moved slow and everything moved floaty and everything was kind of like hypnotized in a way and his voice. And when I first started watching it, it was late at night and I put it on. I'm like, okay, let me at least get it started. So I have it so I can go back and just watch. And I watched maybe the first 15 minutes and I was out. And it was super late. It was like 2 a.m. And so I'm like, oh crap, I got to go back. And I started drifting off again. And it's just because maybe I've it hit that part of my brain perfectly. It just goes, go to sleep, go to sleep. And I was like, oh shit. But I think you're totally right. Now that I think about it, you're totally right that's why they did it. And that's why they made it look familiar. You're totally right.
And at least that's what I thought, because you do ask throughout the entire thing. And even at the end, it's not clear. Was it real?
You're not. No, at the very end, you're not. You still, until the moment that Hanush is gone, you don't know, and I still don't know, was it in his brain, but it served its purpose. Hanush served the purpose of helping him complete his mission and work out what was going on in his crushing loneliness. And there's movies that I like it really, in music, it fit perfectly with what I like. And I really, really like this movie.
This I will this movie, I mean, I don't know how you took it. I mean, you keep talking about the loneliness and everything. There are so many flashbacks to him being a complete jerk to his wife.
I was gonna get to that.
Um, there, I mean, and like, so at first, like they kind of build, oh, he's alone, he doesn't, and then you go, well, wait a minute, this guy's out in space alone. That's probably the best place for him because he's such a
He
dick.
wanted to be there. He wanted to get away. Like, and he's regretting his choices
Yeah,
and all those
yeah.
flashbacks. And this movie, and we gotta get something not as, because the last couple movies have hit me really hard, and this one hit me really hard too. Because there's been moments in my life where I was that guy, like I was him, where I knew I
Yeah.
had a perfect relationship and I threw it away because I wanted to be alone. And then at the end, when you're finally, I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't want this. And I purposely sabotage things, and I purposely go through and do things to make it hard. And I see myself doing that still. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Stop it. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And
But
this was so like,
I mean, that's what this movie really is. I mean, you and I have talked on air about it and on Discord and different things. We're not the most social people. We're ironically we both have jobs that require us to be out there
yes,
and talking in front of people all the
yes.
time. We would both rather be hiding in a corner and not the center of attention. But um, I think that the idea of this story is that yes, you need to be alone at times. But the reality is, in order to be a real functioning human being, you must have human contact in some way that makes you feel good about who you are, makes you feel good about being a person, makes you share life with. Um, and if you don't have that, you're just a miserable prick like he is for 99% of the movie. So,
I couldn't have said it better. That's what the movie's about. That's
yeah.
totally what it is. And the ending of this was so beautiful and so simple. The last sentence of the movie was just like, I totally teared up. I was just like, son of a bitch. Totally. And I loved it. I didn't, people always think we like weird movies. We do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I am a hopeless romantic. As hard as that may seem to believe. And this movie just was like, that was you, idiot, 100 times. I kept going through in my head, like, that was me. And, but did it cross your brain at all? Why don't they hire modelers to go on space missions? Like, I'm pretty sure I could do 180 days if you put me in if I had Zoom and a box of kits and some paint. I think I could make it without going crazy.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
I know. That's why I'm like, dude, it doesn't
I,
seem like you've been gone that long. Why are you losing your mind?
Yeah. Like,
What?
6 months is over already. I'm gone it.
Like,
But yeah, I see what yeah. That's the joke when COVID came out, with all the
yeah,
memes out. I've been practicing for this my whole life, and there's
yeah,
some truth in that.
yeah.
Missy came down the other day when I was on Discord and everything, and we were talking to my daughter. Our daughter went with us to the Comic-Con yesterday, and she goes, "Age, you're not going to believe it. Dad was downstairs and he was talking to people, having conversations. He was he was the weirdest thing." And Adrian goes, "Oh, Dad has friends." So I mean, that should tell you the type of person I'm just a real private, withdrawn. But yeah, I think that I listen. I could sit in a room with people and not talk for 2 hours. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Same. I really like this movie. There also, like, there's a point where the little, and I haven't really showed a lot of pictures.
Purple speck.
There's the little speck floating around. This is where he tries to gas out the alien. Here's a close up look of Hanush, like just in his face. And he's talking this whole time. And there's this little people mouth, like right there. And
So good, dude. It's so good. It
it
really
is.
is.
Let me find. This is where they're kind of talking. And to give you, there was a great, and this is a great. I think this picture sums up a lot of it too. The sense of scale was really well done to make you look like the most insignificant little just
And we
speck,
are.
you
We
know,
are.
in the
Is
grand
that
scheme
the
of things.
is that with the ship against the
Yeah, with the background.
with the
Yeah.
picture of the ship?
So here he is. He has the bathroom siphon, and he notices as they're getting closer to the anomaly, little purple specks floating through the spaceship, and you can't contain them. And he somehow vacuums it in there, and it's. I almost think that's. It made me think of like some of the things we're seeing down here, just the glowing or like of like it maybe like I'm not gonna
Did
get
you
into much of that today, but I.
did you see the California the glowing person in the sky?
Yeah,
Dude,
I,
what is that?
I
Look like a
don't
Hawk.
know. The one
Don't
that was
tell me that.
taken out of the airplane.
No, this was off the ground. I saw.
Well, like, does it turn into like a Y thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think maybe we are talking about the same thing.
maybe just different views. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's some weird stuff going on. Anyhow,
Some weird stuff happening lately, but I like again the sense of scale when he's at the end, he's flying around the ship in the spacesuit and ends up in the like. I know we do spoilers, but it's kind of you kind of have to watch it to see how it
yeah.
goes and to really
Uh,
experience what it must.
here's here's the first thing. Like as I was watching it, and both movies are movies I love, and it gave me the same feelings of 2001: A Space Odyssey and Interstellar. I
I was
think
gonna say it. Yes, both of those.
I now I'm not gonna lie and say I think it's as well done as those. I don't think it is, but I think it's the same tone, the same feel,
Yeah,
uh, the same desperation that's in both of those um, shows up in this as well.
I highly recommend this movie, even if I know we get a little too artsy here, but this movie.
I can ruin that with the next choice.
Yeah, okay, we will.
I
So
could, I could go really off the deep end if we want.
it's well done. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go for grade wise. I'm going to A, definite A.
I gave it an A minus
Okay.
because again, I thought it was just a step below those other two,
Yeah,
and those other two are phenomenal.
yeah.
So
I would consider those other two like A plus movies. So yeah.
yeah,
Um,
so
I I just wish and it's like little nitpicks. I wish there was a little more context in terms of when, and then just a little more just make him American. Like I didn't get the. There's a lot of backstory to him and why he is like because his dad was with the Soviet Union doing
right.
weird stuff. So he had a really hard upbringing, which made him, always trying to compensate for that. And I think the story works. Just
Yes, yes, it
did you
does.
see Uncut Gems?
I didn't. I keep wanting to, and I keep missing it. It
Okay,
was on Netflix for a while, and then it was on something. Yeah,
watch that movie because Adam Sandler kills it in that movie too. Like I thought he was amazing in this. Uncut Gems, it's like why like you're on anxiety. It's like an anxiety inducing movie. The entire
great.
movie is you're
Is what
about
teeth.
to be right. I know. It's about like you're like, dude, what are you doing? The whole movie. Dude, what are you doing? Dude, what are you doing? You're gonna get killed. What are you doing? Like the whole Uncut Gems is fantastic. So if anyone has not seen that, where he plays a jewelry dealer in New York who's always borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, like oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Check it out. I will
It's
check.
so good.
It's been on my list. I missed it when it was on
Yeah.
originally and all that. So
All right. As far as kits go, I, I really don't think any kit would make sense. Like,
I
do one of the
disagree.
alien eating the eating the
Nutella.
Nutella? Yeah. But it's
Uh,
just it doesn't fit. Like, it's not a kit movie for me. It just
I I'm gonna I'm gonna make it where you're like, oh yeah, this would make a good kid. You have it was the when Hanush was left him or whatever, and they finally because they were kind of broken up, I guess you call it, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, where Hanush was like, "I've gotten bored with you, and I don't like who you are," and they finally come back together and they hug. If you did a figure of him hugging Hanush, perfect.
That would actually be
Because it
funny. You're right.
because it's exactly what the movie's about is about being with someone and embracing them and
Yeah.
enjoying. That would be the
Or
one
like them floating. You can have them on two rods where they're holding hands through space.
that was dude. How awesome was
Two
that?
little
That was so
floaty thing. Dude, yes, please, everybody. This movie is definitely not for everyone. But
yeah,
if you like hard to
trippy.
watch, question triggering,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's right there. If you like you said, Interstellar and Space in 2001, like this is for you. This is a
yeah.
great space movie that captures, I think, what it would be like to be in there. So
I agree. I agree.
cool. All right. What's up next? What are we going to watch?
Well, I mean, do we want palate cleanser or do we want?
That's up to you. I do have, and I want people who, if you've made it this far, I do have some suggestions that people have. I put them on a list.
Okay.
Not for this one, but I like more people. If you have movies you want to suggest to us, send them in, put them in the comments, email them to me. I'm compiling a list. I think I have 4 or 3 right now. And if you send it to me a long time ago, send it again because I may have just misplaced it. Like I'm talking like a year ago. If you sent me something, I'm not going to remember what it was. So what
And
are you
then,
going
and
to do?
then, so all right, let's stay on Netflix. Let's stay in space.
Uh-oh.
Let's go because part 2 comes out this Friday.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking
Let's
about.
let's go with the 5-hour epic of Rebel Moon. We're gonna watch parts 1 and 2.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm glad. I've been wanting to watch it. I was waiting till this one so I could watch both back to back.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. Rebel Moon is what's next.
Well, that'll be good. I think we're gonna be in for. We're definitely not gonna be thinking.
No, no, I don't think so.
This is a memento. We're gonna be okay.
No. So that's awesome. All right. Up next, Rebel Moon. We had Spaceman this time. We'll see everybody next time
Have a
on
month.
A Model in a Movie. Hopefully, I'll have something painted. Although Wonderfest printing is taking over, but with broken printers, nothing's getting.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's how it goes. Your printer. It seems like everybody, because again, I don't print. I just pay people to do it. It seems like everyone's printer, that type of printer you have, is going out right now.
Yeah, I think people LCD screens have a time limit basically on them. You have to replace them at some point. They all go bad. They have a lifespan, and I think everyone's have kind of like hit the lifespan at the same time. That first generation of the Jupiter ones, especially. Man, I just want to get stuff going. So,
Well, it'll get done, brother.
they'll get done. They'll get done. So, all right, man.
See you next time.
Thanks. See you next time. Yep. Episode 17 from 15. See you later. All right.
Later.